In my last video, a lot of you guys talked about how I got the White Fang leader's name wrong. It's Sienna Khan, not CL Khan. And, well, my rebuttal to that is half of you guys don't get my name right, so I guess we're even. Hey, everybody out there in YouTube land. Jake of the OneManBand is back again, once again back, messing up people's names and misspelling things. It's one of the main things I do. So, what are we to talk about today involving RWBY? What should we talk about today? I have a lot of ideas on my mind, but I think right now what we should talk about is what's gonna come next. Now, this is what I personally think, but I found Volume 4 to be kind of a disappointment. And that just made me even more excited to see what Volume 5 would have in store. Now that the road has been paved and the setup has been made, what's Volume 5 going to give us that the previous volumes either haven't given us or just barely started to give us? And so I'm gonna kind of do a rundown of how I think Volume 5 is going to go and what I would like to see from it. Now, much like Volumes 1, 2, and 4, I believe Volume 5 is going to start out with the villains. We're gonna get a look of what the villains are gonna be trying to do during this volume. Now, I don't know any details, nor am I really going to predict any, crucial details like Cinder is going to walk to the right and do all this stuff. I know that Salem and Cinder are going to continue to do whatever they do at Salem's Fortress. But I believe that what the villain's plan is for Mistral isn't anything, well, I guess it'd be just as extravagant as it was for Vale, but it's going to end more along the lines of a civil war rather than an invasion. We already know that Mistral has a seedy underbelly of, assassins and criminals and all those bad people. And so I think what the Chaos Syndicate and Salem are going to do, they're going to use that to their advantage and kind of stir them up. So they're going to rise up against the man or something. I know, maybe Roman was supposed to be meant to kind of do that due to the fact that he would be, coming into that area. And, he was already a criminal, he was already known, so he would have already had some say and some respect for those people. And I also think that with Adam Taurus's power grab for the White Fang, that's also gonna create some chaos in Mistral. We know that the leader of the White Fang, Sienna Khan, is in Mistral at this time, and that Adam is going to be making a power grab from her and taking over the White Fang. That's going to cause a lot of mischief, a lot of chaos in the city, and with the criminals rising up, that's gonna cause a lot of chaos as well. The Grimm will come in, and the plan is Mistral will fall. That's what I think the bad guy's plan is going to be. And Watts getting all buddy-buddy with Headmaster Lionheart is going to lead into that. He's going to have so the Huntsmen aren't investigating things that are going on. The Huntsmen are gonna kind of stick to themselves and not really do anything and kind of allow it to happen. Now, I don't see how Lionheart, benefits from this, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But the main aspect of this volume is what's going to be going on with our main girls. What's going to be going on with RWBY, Yang, Blake, and Weiss. And I'm gonna kind of break down what I would like to happen with them and what, I think is going to happen with them. So, let's start off with RWBY and Team Ranger, Crow, and Oscar, and all those people. Let's get the big one done first. So, since they finally have arrived in Mistral, they're going to start asking around about Cinder and about Mercury and Emerald, trying to gather information about these people. The other huntsmen that are there might be a little standoffish. The students may not know what's going on, but they're still gonna ask around. And it's possible that Team Ranger might interact with the remnants of Team Sun, since they're supposed to be there. I mean, come on. Let's get some more screen time with Sage, Scarlet, and Neptune. It won't hurt all that much. Let's get some more screen time with them. Maybe RWBY can go on some misadventures with them. I mean, maybe Neptune can ask RWBY like how Weiss is doing or if she knows. That way we can actually see if Neptune actually cares for Weiss, like we're led to believe. Let's just get some more screen time with them. Come on. As Team Ranger are investigating around, I think Crow is gonna take sort of like a back seat to the action, and he's gonna be discussing things with Oscar and Ozpin. He's probably gonna start training Oscar. They're maybe gonna get real buddy-buddy, and I'm hoping that RWBY will notice this. She'll start to notice that, oh, Crow's getting all buddy-buddy with this new kid. What's up with him? How is he important? And I'm hoping that this will lead RWBY to maybe becoming jealous of Oscar. I mean, we've barely seen any RWBY in Volume 4, and we've barely seen any sort of character development or character change with her. Her getting jealous over Oscar because of her uncle, I think that would be really, really cool, and might lead RWBY to doing like some ill thought out and dangerous things, maybe to get her uncle's attention back. That would be really cool. That's what I want to see. I think a majority of the Team Ranger story arc is going to happen inside Mistral's Haven Academy. They're going to be walking around the academy trying to figure out how it works, and they may go out into the city a little bit. But for the most part, they're going to be on the high mountain of the Huntsman. They're going to be getting the Haven Huntsman experience. And, you know, that's going to be really different because we haven't seen any other Huntsman schools rather than Beacon. So I think it's going to be really cool to see sort of this new take on a Huntsman Academy. And I think that at least either in the beginning of the volume or in the middle of the volume, Yang is going to make it to Haven and rejoin RWBY. Because that's pretty much the whole reason she's going to Mistral, is to find RWBY and help her. And so they're going to have like their meeting, they're gonna be all happy, it's gonna be real emotional and a real nice thing to see, and I'm hoping to get some big emotion from both Yang and RWBY. Maybe even some tears, some happy tears, mind you. And, you know, like Yang showing off her new arm. And I think Yang is going to be more of the type of person that's going to be helping RWBY, going on RWBY's misadventures, and going out into the city to try to figure things out. We know that Yang has a tendency to go to shady people for information. I'm talking about Junior back in Volume 2 and her yellow trailer. So maybe she'll be using her information to not even try to figure out about, you know, Cinder and those people, but maybe also try to figure out information about her mother. She still wants to find her mother, but she knows that RWBY needs her right now. So I think helping RWBY is going to be in the forefront, and finding her mother is going to be in the back of her mind, like it always has, like it always had. But maybe Raven will be part of this sort of coup to happen in the city, and we'll actually get to see Raven and Yang interact with one another. I mean, who knows at this point? But for the most part, Yang is gonna kind of take a back seat during this volume, I think. At least until Blake comes into the picture. Now, Blake is going to, I'm guessing, arrive in Mistral either early on in the volume or maybe in episode 4. I'm hoping that we don't get to see Blake a lot until she gets into Mistral, because then both her and Sun, and I'm hoping her parents come along for the ride as well. They're going to be going directly to the White Fang, you know, getting buddy-buddy with the White Fang. We're going to be able to see Sienna Khan finally, and they're going to try to convince her that there's a plot to take your life, to overthrow you, and take control of the White Fang by Adam Taurus. Now, it's probably not going to, you know, they're probably not going to believe them just right off the bat, because, I mean, well, Gira, you left the White Fang, you abandoned it, why should we believe you? You know, stuff like that. And so I'm thinking Blake and Sun are gonna kind of do their own, like, spying thing that they have done so wearily often with the White Fang, and they're gonna try to get as much information as they can so they can give proof to the to the White Fang leaders so that they can take down Adam. And I think during one of these times that either Yang or Blake are going to see each other. Maybe one will see the other, or they'll both make eye contact with one another. Now, here's where a big divide in my reasoning comes. Now, part of me wants to think that Blake will once again try to be standoffish, try to run away from her problems like I hate, but I'm thinking she'll probably do that. And Yang will go after her and it will end with a hug. That's what I think is going to happen, but it's not what I want to happen, damn it! I want it to be flip-flopped this time. Let it be flip-flopped so we get to see more with these characters. This time, let's have it be Blake who goes to Yang. Blake goes to Yang and is like, Yang, I'm sorry, I'm so glad to see you, I'm sorry that I did all these things, you know, all that stuff. But I want Yang to be the one who's standoffish. She still holds a grudge against Blake. I know she does. It even says that she holds grudges in the Armed and Ready song. And I want her to hold this sort of animosity and sort of a grudge against Blake due to the fact that she ran away. And we can tell at the end of Volume 3, that is the biggest thing that affected Yang. Blake just running away and abandoning her team. That was the biggest thing that bothered her. Not the loss of her arm, not the loss of Beacon, but Blake running away. That's what got her in a hissy fit. And I want there to be, like, I want them to be friction between the two. I want to see them, you know, struggle to actually get back to liking each other, to go back to being the way they were. They will eventually, and I want them to. I want them to be buddy-buddy friends again. But I don't want it to happen instantly. I want it to happen, like, it finally comes to fruition near the end of the volume. I want them to, you know, be on hot, you know, be on thin ice, you know, in hot water for a little bit with one another. Give us some drama between these two. Come on. Now with Weiss, I'm actually real interested about what Weiss is going to be doing, because we know that Winter is working in Mistral, gathering information about what's going on and reporting it back to Ironwood. Now, what I would really like is if Weiss finally arrives in Mistral and is either, it's a fish out of water scenario where she's just lost, she doesn't really know what to do, and is just sort of overwhelmed by everything that's going on. And then she just is able to, you know, run into Winter. And they have, like, you know, sisterly adventures throughout the city. That would be cool. But I'm hoping that Winter's mission in Mistral is that she's working undercover in, like, the seedy underground. I think that would be really cool. We get to see, like, Winter intimidating people, you know, going after information. We get to see a lot more of Winter fighting, because we know Winter is going to be an important role in the next volume, because she is the only reason why Weiss is going to Mistral, is because of Winter. And so, like, they'll be working together, and eventually maybe Weiss will stumble upon Blake, because both Blake and Weiss have come to the same place to spy on the White Fang, or she'll run into RWBY at Haven Academy. And I don't want the entirety of Team RWBY to meet back together all at the same time. I want them to, like, Weiss and RWBY meet up with one another, or Yang and Blake meet up with one another, or RWBY and Yang and Blake and Weiss. That way it's like we have 2 stories going on instead of 4, because them all meeting up just suddenly out of nowhere, like maybe in the middle of the volume, as much as I would want it to happen and it would give the show so much structure, I just think it wouldn't flow very well. Let's have some more time where they're apart, where they have to learn to figure things out for themselves, and then they come back as a team stronger. Because what I'm thinking is, if they all come together at the same time in our team again, RWBY's once again gonna take a backseat from character development, and it's gonna be everyone else doing stuff. I want RWBY, especially RWBY, to have lots of screen time, lots of character development, and lots of just screen time. In Volume 4, she barely got any screen time. And I know you guys are thinking, well, she did all that stuff, and the Team Ranger was like the center of Volume 4. Yeah, but it's like, it was like either Red and Nora took the foreground, or Crow did, or Jean did. RWBY was, it's just a mess. Volume 4 was a mess, and I'm hoping Volume 5 is going to be a lot better. But those are really my predictions for what's going to happen in Volume 5. I'm hoping that we get to see Team Sun. That's what I'm really hoping for, is the rest of Team Sun. And I'm hoping that we don't have so many new characters. You know what? Let's bring in old characters. Or let's concentrate on the characters that we have, please. And let's definitely get a lot of time just taking in Mistral's atmosphere. This is a brand new city, and we're gonna probably see a lot of different places in the city. We're gonna see Haven Academy, we're probably gonna see the city in general, maybe the city underground where the White Fang is hanging out. Let's see a lot of this city. The city of Mistral is going to be a character within itself that's going to need dedicated screen time. And with that, that's what I want Volume 5 to have. But hey, those are just my thoughts, and the real question is, what do you guys think? Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. I'm so glad to finally have this video out there for you guys to see and to listen to. So, if you enjoyed what you liked, be sure to hit that like and favorite button, subscribe if you feel inclined to, and hey, if you're already subscribed and for some reason you're not getting my videos popping up in your feed, I guess click the bell button. That way you're notified whenever I upload. That way you'll get to see it firsthand! And hey, be sure to comment down below all the questions and comments that you have, and check out some links down in the description taking you to other videos I've done, my Twitter and Patreon page. Big thanks to my Patreon sponsors, and if you want to sponsor me on Patreon, I would very, very much love it. It really helps me get these videos out, and it helps me get more out to you guys. But until next time, my friends, I need you to be a good person, tip your waitresses, keep moving forward, and I'll see you guys next time I'm out there in YouTube land. I'll see you then. Yellow!